AI in Action is brought to you by Alldus International, covering your business's staffing, consulting, and networking needs. Our host brings you the leading minds in AI, sharing their story, their success, and their advice. Focusing on fast-tracking you to the top, AI in Action cuts through the hype to help you kickstart your data science career. To listen to the latest AI in Action podcast, head over to www.alldus.com/podcast or subscribe via iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Podcasts.
You're listening to AI in Action. I'm your host, JP Valentine. Our guest today is Julie Orlando. Julie is the Chief Product Officer for Nanotronics Imaging. Julie, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
It's our pleasure. We're delighted to have you. So, Julie, let's start with a brief background of yourself. Talk to us about how you first got involved in technology, what your interests were, what led you to embark on a career, taking us through some of the roles you've held along the way, bringing us up to when you joined Nanotronics.
So I started with my educational background in mechanical and polymer engineering, and really chose this avenue because I loved building things and working with things and creating things that could be, utilized for the good of really the world. I thought this was a nice combination of knowledge that would propel me towards the future and career that I was looking for. So I had the opportunity to co-op with a company in the automotive industry. And throughout this cooperative educational program, I was running, I had the unique opportunity to work with so many different segments of a manufacturing facility. As soon as I stepped foot on my first manufacturing floor, I realized this is what I wanted to do. I could see how things were coming together in many different ways, understanding solutions to problems that we were presented with on a daily basis, understanding the intricacies that were involved in this type of environment. And I think, to generalize and understand how manufacturing looks in many segments of industry is something that has always interested me. So I knew that, kind of when I graduated from college, I wanted to have an opportunity in which I could interact with many companies and be present and learn from many different manufacturing facilities. And that this would gain, the knowledge that I wanted to have going forward in the future. So I actually worked very closely with many of my suppliers. One of them was a manufacturer of radiological test instrumentation for the rubber and plastics industry. And fortunately, had, created some really great technical papers. I co-authored a patent with them on some research that we were doing for OE automotive industry. And that's how I got the first introduction to our co-founders of Nanotronics. They had owned this company, and I worked with them doing applications work in various capacities. And, again, this kind of gave me exposure because we were providing our mechanical test instrumentation in this industry for quality control. And, I think that leads into some of the future discussion that we'll have surrounding, statistical process control in manufacturing facilities and the integration of AI and how we can leverage that technology to change the way, that things have been done for so many years.
So that's a perfect and thank you for that background. That's a perfect transition into explaining who Nanotronics are. So at a very high level, if you could talk to us about who Nanotronics are, the origins behind the business, and what you guys do on a day-to-day basis.
Sure. Nanotronics is a science and technology company. We've redefined factory control through the invention of a platform that combines AI, automation, and sophisticated imaging to assist human ingenuity in detecting flaws and anomalies in manufacturing. And, as I started to mention, this is an industry that has seemed stagnant since the 1950s. So we're deployed across 18 countries. We're industry agnostic and work with leading edge companies to drive up yield, reduce footprint and waste in their factories, lower cost, and speed up their design iteration and overall innovation of new products. We're also building the first high-tech manufacturing hub in New York, where we'll be able to implement our own proprietary intelligent factory control to serve as a blueprint for how all manufacturers can operate. Our CEO always says that he wants to see the next factory operating out of a dorm room instead of a social network. And we think this is entirely possible when your process is powered by Nanotronics.
That sounds amazing. And to give some detail, your Brooklyn location is in Brooklyn Navy Yard. For any New Yorkers here, will know it well, but it's one of the coolest spots in all of New York. So quite an exciting place to be based. So you joined the company when it was just the founders and yourself, right? And you've gone through the full journey of a very small startup to now a larger organization. Can you give us some insight into what that journey has been like for yourself, and taking on very senior roles, and how you've had to evolve and adapt?
Sure. I mean, it's been an incredible journey, really, right since from the beginning. When I started, it was myself and 2 software developers about 10 years ago. And when you're in startup mode and a new technology, we're learning about what our customers are doing and what their needs are, developing a product that's both hardware and software based, so has some added complexities. I think what drives forward the product development and the development of the organization overall is just knowing how substantial the need is for this type of technology. And I think we saw that early on. And we knew we were headed in the right direction just based on our previous experience and manufacturing and production environments. So early on in the startup mode, we, got to wear many different hats. I was involved with every aspect of what we did, from building the systems, testing the software, sales, deploying systems in the field, doing the installations and applications work. We've grown very responsibly over the years and slowly started to increase our team, and also vertically integrated by acquiring our primary supplier of hardware back in 2015 in California, and growing our Brooklyn, New York office substantially. So now, we're in a place where our R&D headquarters is in Brooklyn, New York. As I mentioned, we're expanding manufacturing here. We are currently doing manufacturing in Hollister, California, and then we have a very small office in Ohio. So, it's really been direct feedback from our customers that has evolved our product over time. We weren't the type of company that was developing a product and guessing what might be interesting for our customers to utilize. I think that's what has become so interesting, and the way that we've been able to integrate AI and our other technologies is providing direct value to our customers based on their feedback and pain points. And we've always tried to create kind of this generalized solution that allows, multiple customers, industry agnostic, to have the benefit of what we're accomplishing.
Focusing now on the technology that drives your business, you guys are talk about AI in everything that you do, and you utilize computer vision and 3D imaging and data science. Can you give us some insight into how you go about doing that, and how you utilize AI to drive the business success?
Sure. Starting really with our flagship technology, a product called NSPEC. It's the world's first automated industrial microscope. It's compact enough for deployment on the factory floor, which is very critical to a lot of our customers. Rather than having kind of a central inspection and quality location, they can deploy it and disperse in line with their manufacturing process. And our system is a kind of a hardware and software solution, configurable to client specifications. And we combine advanced computer vision and machine learning, sometimes at the point of image acquisition, and sometimes post processing of the images we're acquiring with our high resolution optical system. And I think what's become most relevant recently for a lot of our customers in the last 5 years or so is the use of AI for image processing. So we give our customers the ability to not only detect defects or features of interest or macroscopic flaws, but we allow for real-time correction. So we're able to provide the classification utilizing AI, and this allows them to assign causality and provide that fast feedback to the manufacturing process. So we've been doing this for a while. We knew it was a need when we were performing traditional image processing. collecting thousands and thousands of images for our customers and developing algorithms that were tuned specifically for particular types of defects, and knew that, the introduction of AI would become completely necessary to give our customers the flexibility for complete classification, no matter what type of defect or issue that they were experiencing in their production environment at any given time. So that's been something that we've, focused a lot on, and has allowed us to, transform the manufacturing process for a lot of our customers. We also are working on something called intelligent factory control. And this essentially enables machines to autonomously correct for irregularities in the production process. So now we're taking it a step further, whereas the end spec is looking at acquiring images of various materials. It could be semiconductor wafers, sensor panels, glass, flow cells for genomics. There's a lot of different examples that we're looking at, but now we're focusing on the actual process and the process equipment. So its viability has been demonstrated in an additive manufacturing model using 3D printing, making truly intelligent, self-inspecting, self-optimizing factories an achievable goal. And not only does this platform promise to improve yield, at its best will transform manufacturing by significantly reducing byproducts, shortening supply chains, controlling cost and footprint, and all of this while fostering high levels of creativity and innovation.
So it sounds quite revolutionary when you think of pre this type of technology, the level of work that would have gone into these types of inspections. To get a sense of the various uses, you've talked about manufacturing, but is there a particular industry where you're seeing a huge uptake in using this technology? And as you look at what's next and how big this can become, where do you see the application use is growing over time?
Yeah, so right now we're applying AI and innovation in many ways by improving manufacturing process throughout entire manufacturing and production of, let's say, for example, the compound semiconductor industry. We're looking at customers that are dealing with, new types of materials, looking at incoming materials, or working with their suppliers to make sure that their materials are in line with quality in terms of, further down manufacturing, and looking throughout their entire process. So when you're manufacturing a sophisticated device or sensor, there's many places in the process, whether it be with the processing equipment itself or with the output on the product, there's multiple layers that we can provide data in terms of understanding where, defects or anomalies or features are added. So this allows customers in this segment of industry to really hone in and quickly transform and provide feedback to corrections that are needed throughout this process, and not only with a single customer internally, but also with their supply chain. So, some of our customers are also using our technology and recommending to their suppliers and also their customers so that they can have uniformity in the data and the analysis that they're producing. And it gives them such tight control and understanding. So this has been something that we've seen a lot in the compound semiconductor industry, also with genomics and flow cell manufacturing. The ability to have hardware that's so tightly controlled in order to process images that are, of such high quality and output the information that they really need to drive, their next steps and decisions has been, I think, tremendously helpful for them. In other ways, we're applying this type of technology, for, another example might be, especially right now, even more relevant, UVC LED manufacturing. So UVC LEDs can be used for sanitizing surfaces to quell the spread of pandemics and, the current issues that we're facing now. And, we need quick, and efficient domestic and global solutions to prevent the continued rapid spreading of the disease. So things like far UVC LEDs can safely kill viruses and bacteria without harming human skin. And this is another material. Unfortunately, right now, current yields don't allow it to be commoditized quickly. And the global supply chain can't support a ramp up that we need to see right now. And this could really help with mitigation of a viral outbreak like the novel coronavirus that we're facing now. So these types of technologies and by deploying the NSPEC and intelligent factory control, this allows us to react quickly and create the manufacturing that we need for any situation and record pace than what we've seen historically.
That's amazing. I want to get some insight from you on how you've scaled your data and your tech team. What goes into bringing this product to market and continuing to evolve it over time? So could you talk to us about the current setup of your technology department? Data scientists, engineers, computer vision. What happens behind the scenes and the team that you've assembled as you've grown?
Yeah, I mean, we have such a talented team ranging from, optical engineers, data scientists, artificial intelligence experts, machine learning, core software development, hardware control, our mechanical design team. I mean, we really have a cross-functional team of experts, and, it's really incredible when we're building our own, mini factories ourselves to kind of prove out the ideas of intelligent factory control, or we're looking at deploying a solution to one of our customers or partners, it really takes a team effort in terms of, we're dealing with a lot of data, we're acquiring a lot of data. There's a lot of hardware components involved in terms of, in some cases we're using IFC for video and some manual process. So, we're looking at, we've talked a lot about automating process and manufacturing equipment, but also there's still a lot of manual inspection. So setting up, frames and high resolution imaging cameras and making sure that we're capturing really all of the information that we need and that we can, not only capture the information, but use that to provide what we need in terms of training and building these models, and then ultimately just, deploying the closed loop control system. So this takes, a lot of different talented engineers, and, we have a really great team and of a wide variety really of talent that we're able to use, including, electrical engineering as well to develop our own board design. So, when we look at traditional statistic process control, we're looking at gathering of a lot of data and control of a process, which is, fundamental for what a lot of companies are doing. But, kind of one of the differences in terms of IFC is that even with all of these sophisticated controllers, talented scientists that our customers have, mathematicians and engineers, they wouldn't be able to accomplish this without, powering it by AI and the solutions that we have to optimize for final product quality. So we're looking at precise control, rather than looking at precise control at each process station, no matter how automated or well instrumented, there's always this variable that we need to have in place where we understand, AI is needed to truly recognize and search for anomalies and correct for variability during a process. Things that we as humans can miss, but that we're developing the most amazing solutions for at Nanotronics and allowing our customers to utilize.
Excellent. Final question then for you. As the business has grown from a 3-person startup to now, 100 people plus, obviously, look, COVID affected us all and maybe put some plans on hold, but you guys seem to have a solid business model, which is still incredibly successful. As things settle down into the new normal, what do you expect in the near term from future growth, and for engineers who are interested in an organization like Nanotronics, what future opportunities do you see available?
Yeah, so I mean, as we continue to grow and companies embrace our technology to further evolve their own, I think we're going to see a lot of growth and need within our own organization, and hopefully as our customers begin to innovate for theirs as well. So, right now we're seeing at record time new companies meeting demands of the pandemic, and companies looking to retool and repurpose technology and manufacturing in new ways. So one thing that really makes this possible now and provides the insight for us going forward on what's possible is that, leveraging AI, something, automated rather than manual, or even combining the manual expertise, but needing to train up technicians and employees rapidly. We're seeing what's possible now and what we can create and build in a few months. And I think this really establishes the foundation for what's possible going forward, and allows us to understand, that we can set up manufacturing rapidly in areas that we need. When affected by supply chains or pandemics or, other natural disasters that may happen, we have this ability, and we know that we can embrace it and utilize it for the good. And that's what we've began to do. Even ourselves as Nanotronics, we've built a BiPAP. So over the last few months, we've designed and developed and manufactured a BiPAP, which is a non-invasive method to help free up ventilators while also supporting, those that don't need ventilators. And we can apply our own AI and intelligent factory control to our manufacturing process, and prove this as a foundation again for what's possible. And companies can pivot and redirect by using this even faster. So we're assisting humans in the creation of new products on a daily basis. And I think that's a really powerful thing for what we're seeing today.
Completely agree. I think it's exciting when you think about the impact this could have on global manufacturing and how it can change the landscape. And as manufacturing operations become more automated, it means they can become more cost effective and can be based near shore and onshore, and sort of have a massive impact on the overall dynamic of employment. So technology like this will play a huge factor in that. Julie, thank you so much for your time. This has been great to learn about Nanotronics. Very exciting things happening, and I look forward to seeing you guys continue to grow and evolve.
Oh, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it, JP, and this has been great. We're looking forward to continuing discussions in the future with hopefully some really talented engineers that are looking forward to joining our team.
AI in Action is brought to you by Alldus International, covering your business's staffing, consulting, and networking needs. Alldus offer an exec search program. Alldus can help you discover how data science and AI can transform your company. With our unrivaled network of C-suite executives and senior AI professionals, we offer retained search services across the US and Europe. For more information, contact mark@alldus.com. Get the Alldus advantage. Become a member of the Alldus community and enjoy some of the following: AI meetups. Once a month, our community gathers to listen to some of the leading experts in the world of data science and AI. Our speakers come from all over the world, including Dublin, Boston, and Frankfurt. We also have our AI mentors. Our experts will provide mentoring to Alldus members. And don't forget our AI in Action podcast. Each week we have guests from all over the world talking us through their education, career, and more. Become an Alldus member and get the Alldus advantage. For more information and to sign up for our newsletter, log on to www.alldus.com. That's www.alldus.com. Alldus International, empowering through AI.